FirstCoast.tv. I find myself with
Jeffrey Fix.
Okay. And Jeff, what's going on here at the distillery?
So today the Equality Florida team is here to brief people in St. Augustine about the gala coming up in October in Jacksonville at the River Club, and about all the great things that they're doing to help LGBTQ equality across the state of Florida.
Okay. What are some of the main things you think the LGBT people need to change in our community?
Right now, the biggest thing is to have human rights ordinances in all of our city, and luckily St. Augustine does have a fully inclusive ordinance, but we're working with Jacksonville now to help that happen there. We need protection for transgender people and their rights and being able to use their sex-designated bathrooms. We also need help for the kids that are being thrown out of their homes and not accepted by their families. And we definitely need to work on gun control right now. That's part of a big thing in our community right now after what happened in Orlando at Pulse.
Yeah, and then Dallas, and then this morning we had Baton Rouge.
Yes, Baton Rouge. So, you know, we need to start working on that as a society as a whole, and hopefully the LGBT community can help be a proponent of that, and, you know, black rights and that type of thing as well.
So what do you hope the people who come to this event take with them home after this event?
Well, today we hope that people take away the fact that there are people out there fighting for them in the LGBTQ community, that we're doing really great events and mixers for people to meet other people that are in their community, and that they'll come to the Jacksonville Gala in October, on October 8th, and buy their tickets today while they're here.
Right. Do you have a Facebook page?
We do. It's Equality Florida. Ida would have better information. Jorge can post that later for us.
Sure. And another question, do you have a website?
Yes, it's eqfl.org. So check it out. There's a lot of good information there about what goes on statewide, but especially about Jacksonville and the greater Jacksonville area.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Thank you, Jorge.
Guest with us tonight. We have Carlos Guillermo-Smith. Carlos is our governmental affairs manager, so he is our lead lobbyist in Tallahassee. He came from the other side of the country, let me say that, speaking at Netroots Nation, one of the largest progressive gatherings in the country. This is where presidential candidates speak. So there was a video of Hillary Clinton and President Barack Obama, and then this man spoke to the same crowd. So we are in very good company.
So I wanted to give you a brief but meaningful update on some of the work that we've been doing here in Florida. Much of it, of course, is related to the Pulse tragedy and the shooting in Orlando that took 49 of our friends. You know, most of you probably heard, but in the hours after we heard about this horrific tragedy, Equality Florida set up a GoFundMe online account to raise money for the victims and the surviving families from the Pulse shooting. Well, very, very soon after we set up the GoFundMe for the victims of the Pulse shooting, we broke all online fundraising records and raised over $7 million. What do we do now? I think a lot of us are asking that question, and a lot of our top priorities, first as an organization, but also in the Florida legislature, have always been and will continue to be to pass a statewide bill that finally bans anti-LGBT discrimination in employment, public accommodations, and housing. We are going to continue to fight for that, and in fact, some of you may have seen that we put out an ask to the governor directly and told him that we appreciate that Rick Scott has come down to Orlando and that he's helping the victims of the tragedy and doing everything that they can. However, he can do much more to help the LGBT community in Florida by signing an executive order today that would basically do just that, ban discrimination against all state employees and government contractors without having to do anything with the legislature. Are there any reporters in this room? Is there any media? Nadine and I met with the governor's staff 2 weeks ago. And we don't have any answers just yet, but I will tell you, and for those of you who know our governor, you know that this is pretty huge. The option of an executive order is on the table. Okay? That's a huge, meaningful step forward, and we're going to continue to put pressure on the governor. But I think what many of you are probably wondering, what many of us have been wondering in the wake of this shooting is the LGBT community overall finally going to add its voice and join in the fight for gun safety? And I'm proud to tell you that we are going to join that fight. We're going to join that fight because, unfortunately, like our Black and African American neighbors, like our Latino neighbors, now LGBT people are disproportionately impacted by gun violence. And it's important that we understand that while hate crimes are overall on the decline, hate crimes are actually on the rise against transgender women of color, against LGBT people of color, against Muslim Americans. And it's very, very important, as we did as an organization, I know many of you were part of this, that in the wake of a tragedy like this, that we stand in solidarity with all of these other communities that have also been victims of hate and intolerance. That's why the day of the Pulse shooting, the first media event that Equality Florida participated in the day of the shooting was with CARE, the Council for American Islamic Relations, where we stood together and we said that we are not going to allow hate to divide us or turn us against each other, because we know that love trumps hate. I think everyone agrees on that. And we have 3 asks. This is the Equality Florida ask with all of these other organizations. 1, that we ban military-style assault weapons statewide in Florida. That's the sale, the transfer, and the manufacture of these weapons. We're also calling for a ban on high-capacity magazines and ammunition that allow hundreds of rounds to be shot in a given particular moment. And on top of that, we're also demanding that they expand universal background checks to apply to gun show sales, to apply to person-to-person sales, and online sales of guns. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us. We thank you for the support that you've given us already, and we're glad that you were able to join us tonight, really in honor and in solidarity for the 49, which is our hashtag, for the 49. When you go home tonight, take a photo of yourself with a sign that says For the 49 and post your thoughts on social media, because we've started that campaign. Again, the hashtag is For the 49, that we're standing against hatred and intolerance and bigotry. And I do want to close by giving a quick shout out to my colleague, Ida, who has been reading the local news reports, found out that she actually is jailbird Ida Escamani, who was arrested with 9 other protesters in Senator Marco Rubio's office last week. This girl is a rock star, and she helped organize a 49-hour, what hoped to be a 49-hour sit-in protest in Senator Marco Rubio's office to send a message, which is that he cannot use his political career to relaunch another campaign against LGBT people. He rolled out his endorsement from John Stemberger, the worst anti-gay bigot in Florida, after he announced he was running, and he's refusing to take action on gun safety. So thank you to Ida and the other 9 folks who were elected.